Hi everyone, it's Chele from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of the Team Tiny April 2023 hop, and the theme for this month is birth date. So you could do anything that relates to the day you were born, the year, the month, the astrology sign, the flower for your birth month. There are so many different directions. I can't wait to see what everybody decides to do. So I decided to do the Scorpio constellation that you would see in the sky. And I looked it up, drew it out on a piece of paper, which you'll see in a minute. But the first thing I wanted to do was create the background. So I'm using a piece of Bristol Smooth white cardstock cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm using a couple colors of Distress Oxide: Salvage Patina, Kitsch Flamingo, Villainous Potion, Prize Ribbon. Then I will bring in some chipped sapphire and some black soot to go around the edges just to kind of darken it up a little bit. So I did go back and forth over these colors several times because I was trying to get a really good blend, and Bristol Smooth cardstock takes these colors really, really well. It was just that I was using a lot of light and dark colors, and I didn't want the dark colors to overpower the lighter colors. So you can see I'm going in with a little bit more of a heavy hand. I am very heavy-handed and I make the whole camera thing shake, so I hope that I'm not making you guys seasick when I'm doing this. So I'll talk a little bit about Team Tiny while you're watching me blend. Team Tiny is a group of crafters that come together once a month with a theme. It is a hashtag-driven hop, so you're going to click on the hashtag in the title of the video, and everybody's videos who are participating in this hop will show up. We all have less than 1,000 subscribers, and we're looking to actively grow our channels. So we participate in these hops to gain viewers, to create more projects, to be a little bit more creative. And each and every month, we try to come up with a theme that will stretch creativity, one that can have many interpretations so that you can see a lot of different themes or skills or techniques for ways to make cards, and maybe that will spark some creativity within you or, anybody who's watching this. So love to participate in these, and we have some really great themes coming up over the next couple months, so I hope you guys will join us along our journey in Team Tiny, and thank you for all of you guys who are watching. So now back to the card. You can see I'm going back in and adding a little bit more of that chipped sapphire as well as some of the black soot. So now you can see, I think you can kind of see it on that piece of scratch paper at the top on white. I drew out how the constellation looks in the sky. So I am using Mama Elephant's Starry Night, which has a bunch of stars. It has some astrology signs in it. It has all of the labels for all of the astrological signs on there. So you'll see that I use one of them for that. But I am just going through and using there's 4 different size dots with a star on it. And I thought that would be perfect to make the constellation out of, because that's kind of how it looks in the sky. So I'm just going off of the drawing that I have. Now, again, this is not perfect. It was just my artistic impression of, or not impersonation, but I took some artistic license to get the constellation onto the paper. So I am using some Hero Arts white unicorn pigment ink to stamp out the constellation in. I will go back in a little while with a white gel pen and go over those lines because the ink was not dry on the Distress Oxide, so some of that Distress Oxide absorbed some of that white pigment ink, so it was taking on some of the color underneath. So using a white gel pen is a way to brighten up and freshen up those lines. Some of them were a little bit difficult to see. So I'm going to finish the constellation, and then there is also a star in the other set that I use, which is called Mama Elephant's Cosmic Stars. And on the paper, I don't know how well you can see it, there are some dots on there. So there were larger dots and smaller dots from the picture that I found. So I used that star to go ahead and stamp down one of the larger dots. not worrying about, again, too much about perfection. I just kind of wanted to get that shape so you would kind of get the feel of the Scorpio constellation. You see there, I'm just using a block to go ahead and stamp them out. And then I added a little bit of that white unicorn pigment ink to my block, sprayed it with my distress sprayer, which is just full of water, took a regular paintbrush. I would usually use my fan brush, but I couldn't find it because my desk is a mess. So I just took a regular paintbrush and was splattering the dots around. I do believe I got more on my desk than I actually did on the paper at one point because I couldn't really figure out where I was flicking the paintbrush. The paint was going kind of or the ink was kind of going everywhere. So added a little bit more. And then I went back to that same Cosmic Stars stamp set, and there are images associated with each one of the astrological signs on there. So the scorpion is obviously the Scorpio. So I went ahead and stamped that down, and that came out really good because the ink was more dry underneath there. The Distress Oxide was more dry. Also stamped out the word Scorpio at the bottom. I didn't want to make it a birthday card or anything too specific. I just love the way that I just loved the constellation plus the Scorpio in the sky, so you could kind of tell what it was, and then the Scorpio name on there. I'm also taking that star that I had used on the constellation and just kind of stamping some of them on the background, again, to make it look more like a galaxy. I'm loving the way this background came out. I feel like it looks like a piece of pattern paper. You guys will have to let me know in the comments what you think of it. Do you like that background? I've made a bunch of galaxy sky backgrounds, but this has probably been one of my favorites. So you can see here, I'm going in with that white gel pen to go ahead and darken up those lines. Once I finish darkening up all those lines, I'm going to go ahead and attach the card front to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base that I created from some blue cardstock. It's just 65-pound cardstock from Michaels, from one of those multi-packs. I'm using my Honeybee Bee Creative Glue to put some adhesive on the back of it and then attach it to the front, and then the card will be finished. So this is a hashtag driven hop. Make sure you click on the hashtag in the title of the video so you can check out everybody's videos. I can't wait to see what everyone has made. There may be some giveaways along the hop. There are occasional ones that each channel may do, so make sure you check everything out. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below, and I'll see you again real soon for another video. Bye!